United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, December the 17th. We are getting very close to Christmas, so I tell you what, very quick story, real quick. I was at a party yesterday, a bunch of old people like me, and we were singing 12 Christmas carols, 12 of them, and myself and this other gentleman, my wife doesn't like me singing because I don't sing very good, but I sing loud. And he and I won the participation award because he was singing loud and I was trying to sing louder. And it was people were laughing, but you know what? They were having a good time. So we were live at the Acts Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri, and it is show number 271. 271 blessings. We welcome you today to our show. We know that people are watching all over the country and maybe a few other countries too. And so we really appreciate that. I am Lynn Morris.
And I'm Dr. Mary Byrne.
Yes, you are. And I tell you what, we have a great show today. The person that we have today, I'm just extremely excited. He's been somebody that Dr. Mary Byrne and I've known for a long time. I'm going to claim I know him a lot longer than you do, Doctor.
I concede.
But honestly, this is a difference maker. This is a guy who was a difference maker when he first started working for my company, Family Pharmacy, and he has continued to do the things that we're doing. So I think we've got a little video right now that we're going to play. It's less than a minute, just to give you a taste of what is coming up in January. And we're going to be talking about this event. We want to help sell tickets. I want to make sure I go. This is an opportunity that all the people around Southwest Missouri, and we're doing this ahead of time. So if you live in another state and you want to come and visit the Branson, Missouri area, there's a lot of things that go on in the wintertime, okay? There's a lot of things in Southwest Missouri that you can do. If you like antiquing or some of the things, the rivers, the lakes, everything, you want to do winter fishing, you can do that. So honestly, you need to think about coming to this seminar because it is actually going to make a difference in your life, okay? So let's turn this video on and kind of get started here. Just a dream. Yeah, so that's just a little glimpse, just a little tiny glimpse of what you could see in January. And Mary, I think the next thing is if you'll read the bio that Chad sent us, and then we're going to I'm going to kind of add a little bit to it, and we'll talk about some of the things he's done in his life journey as we head toward this important event coming up in January.
I'm scanning this intro and I'm going, but where are the 7 children? I think that's been your biggest achievement.
Yeah, you can't forget about them for sure.
Yeah, for
sure.
But let me introduce you to Chad Rollins as a husband, father of 7, pharmacist, and dedicated fitness advocate. You can tell all of those guys are pretty buff on that. A graduate of Glendale High School in Springfield, Missouri, he served as captain of the football team and earned all conference honors as a middle linebacker. So you were a high achiever right from the start.
Yeah, back
right?
then. That's been a while.
Yeah. He went on to earn a degree in chemistry from Missouri State University, followed by a doctor of pharmacy. That's how he knows Lynn.
Yeah,
right? Doctor
yeah.
of pharmacy from University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Pharmacy. Academic achievement alone was not enough to satisfy his drive for growth and accomplishment. At age 49, Chad continues to set ambitious goals, having completed an American Ninja Award. We'll have to talk about that. Served as an ambassador and athlete for Spartan Obstacle Racing, and represented charitable organizations such as Brace for Impact. He also remains an active member of the First Form community. A lifelong resident of Springfield, Missouri, Chad is deeply committed to fostering a positive and supportive community. He often shares one of his guiding principles: a masterpiece is created by ordinary, mundane discipline. To those who look to him for inspiration, he offers 2 key pieces of advice: learn to never quit and believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, those 2 things right there, if you can do that, then you can go pretty far in your life. So I want to thank you both for having me, Lynn, on this show, and Mary. And, we have known each other for a while and been through some things together and grown. And you've been both had an impact on my life in one way or another. And just really appreciate this opportunity. And you talked about you singing carols. If you remember right, at the company dinners, I used to karaoke.
He actually was a good singer.
And we get the guy Neil Diamond show coming up in Christmas here pretty soon. So, and that's what I used to sing. So
yeah, and I love Neil Diamond, and he would always entertain we had large groups. 200 or 300 people there, and he would sing Neil Diamond songs, and they were awesome, and the young ladies liked it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. So, but no, I tell you what, we've known each other for a long time.
You probably thought it was vintage, but I grew up with Neil Diamond.
Oh yeah, icon.
Well, I tell you what, let's talk about pharmacy first. What year did you start working with family pharmacy?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2004 and from Kansas City, and then moved back up here to Springfield and finished my last year here, the residency type program. And I was drawn to your pharmacy because, first of all, it was a local pharmacy, it was independent, and your motto was service and best prices, or low prices.
Yeah,
And
best service, low prices.
Yeah, and the key thing is best service, so, and I really, truly wanted to seek out a pharmacy where we were going to make a difference in the community, and so that was back then. It's been a while, but but it was a great decision. So
yeah, and you're still working in one of the same pharmacies right now that we had.
Right.
And it's a very important pharmacy. It's a long-term care pharmacy, institutional nursing homes and things like that. And so, because I'm old, I still get my medicine there.
That's right. I get to see you still.
Able to dose them and do different things, that they do for nursing homes and things like that. So that's awesome. And then Dr. Mary, she's going to kind of talk about this. You decided to, and this is why you've been a difference maker for a long time. I knew you were. Jan and I knew, my wife and I knew you were special. We had 43 pharmacists, at times with our group. We had to have a lot of pharmacists to manage stores every day and then to be relief pharmacists and stuff like that. But we always knew that Chad was special. And so one of the things that you decided to do is to run for school board.
Right.
And Dr. Mary Byrne, here you are a doctor of pharmacy, and she's a doctor of education. Dennis, you and me, we're kind of left out. We're kind of left out here.
Yeah.
But you decided, and that's everything we're saying today take notes, because you can do exactly what Chad's doing right now in Southwest Missouri. You can do it. We want people to emulate the good things that people are doing somewhere in this country, and you do it for your group. You do it for your area. You do it for your school, your business, whatever you can do, your community. So tell us about, why did you decide to run for a school board?
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, that was something that was out of my comfort zone, and I wanted to give back to the community. And so I went and picked up my packets.
You had 7 kids to educate.
Right, yeah. And, I've got 7 kids, and I could just see that there were some things that were issues within the school system. And community service is a big part of what I like to do. And went and picked up my packet, got all the signatures, and then just within like a month, I found out why I was really there, So, but I really honestly felt like I was drawn by a higher power to go try and do that, and see what difference I could make. And then we kind of all know what the politics that get into, unfortunately, that get into the school system. And that was something that I learned really fast, that I was there to at least bring a light onto what the issues were, to help the teachers, to help the students, to help the parents, because I felt like they didn't really have anybody on their side.
And you ran twice, right?
I did. Mhm, yeah.
And you came in close every time, and you did a great job. I mean, for someone who wasn't involved in politics, you didn't really want to be involved in politics.
No, I didn't.
That's the problem people need to realize. When I was on the school board many generations ago, the problem was we didn't have that many problems in the school. Education was truly education. There was not very many teachers that weren't doing the right thing. Everybody seemed to be doing the right thing. The most concern that parents had back when I was on the school board was their kids weren't getting to play enough in sports. They would come and complain about my son is better than that boy and he's playing all the time, and stuff. We heard that type of stuff. Today, everything's political.
What year was that, or years were they, Lynn, when you were on the board?
Well, it would have been probably 30 some years ago. 30 some years ago.
So that's still in the 1990s. Would you say early 1990s?
Yeah, early 1990s, because our kids were in school. We had, Jan and I had three children, and we had 2 girls that knew what school was about, and we had a son that didn't really think school was that important. So I wanted to make sure I was on the school board to see if make sure he graduated.
Yeah. But, and I'd say one thing for me, Mary was a big part of helping me understand kind of some of the controversy and situations that were going on. But I do feel like, even though I didn't win, we did bring some of those issues to the forefront, and I do feel like it's gotten better because of that, because the public was aware. And then for me personally, I mean, I took I learned how to run a campaign. I learned about, all these different things.
And you had your team living with you at home.
Yeah, that's right. My campaign manager was she's my 10-year-old daughter now, but I mean, we were out putting out the signs. I learned to get on a podcast, on a radio show. The first one I ever did with Steve Mikowski. I went in, I was about as nervous as I had spoken in front of large groups of people, but I had never been on a radio podcast, and I got in front of that microphone, and I was like a deer in headlights. And we came out, and he goes, well, next time you do this, you might want to just act like you're having a conversation with somebody, and there's no camera there. and I'll tell you what, and he goes, and smile and have fun and all that. And, man, that was some good advice. So I've done quite a few of them since then.
He broke you in for our show.
Yeah, he sure did. So. But yeah, it was a good experience. So
I want to tell the listeners today and the people that's watching our show, there's going to be people, and I encourage you to run for some type of office, get involved, volunteer, do something for your community, but you're not always going to win. And I actually believe that Chad would have been a better school board member than some of the people that won. I really do believe that. However, that's not always happens. I know the very first race that I ran as a state representative, I lost by 108 votes. And I know that so many people in Christian County knew that I was the best candidate. So listen, if you lose, you didn't really just lose. It's okay. You can try again, because sometimes the best people don't always win, and that's another problem with politics sometimes.
But, okay, so I ran for Congress in 2016, and I had a similar experience with Chad. One, it does open your world to another experience, but two, even if you didn't win the vote, you had the opportunity to speak about the issues.
Right,
To
absolutely.
an extent you never would have without running.
Yeah, and I mean, our schools were having a lot of discipline problems. That was obvious, and that became the number one issue for everybody to talk about.
Yeah.
And so that was good. And, along with some of our cultural issues we're having with schools and, politics
Which are
infiltrating.
ongoing.
So, right, that
Yeah.
haven't completely gone away yet. So,
Right, but
yeah.
that is the interaction of local with state.
Right.
All that stuff is actually coming down through the
Yeah.
accreditation standards of the state.
It opened my eyes to a lot of things. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So,
Right, yeah.
yeah, to
Well,
say the
thank you
least.
for doing that,
Yeah.
putting yourself out there. And and as you know, it's a family that runs. It's not just that
Right.
candidate, it's
Yep.
the backup
It's a lot of
team.
work.
Yeah, and sacrifice.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it was. So, thank you.
I have to go back to your intro a little bit here because I'm curious about a number of things. What's the American Ninja Warrior?
Yeah, so at one point in my life, I decided to really take control of my life. And so I had put some goals down, and one of them was to, at the time, to be on the show The Titan Games, which was The Rock was running that show. And through that process, I ended up on American Ninja Warrior. So,
So
But
is
it's-
this because you
yeah.
were a high school football leader that you stayed involved in sports and you learned about this competition? How did that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on setting goals, and not just small goals. They need to be big goals that are really hard to obtain. I mean, at the time I was 47 years old, father of 7. They have 150,000 applicants for American Ninja Warrior, and they only take about 100 or 200 new people. And so to get selected for that was
That's a
almost
win. That's a
almost
win right
unimaginable, So,
Yeah.
but I always want to be a leader and example for my kids. And throughout that process, when I got selected, Cora, all my kids were very excited. My wife, my parents, you show your parents at 47 years old, hey, look, Mom, I made it, So, but, she right off the bat was like, okay, we got to start training right now. I'm your trainer. She's been my campaign manager. She was my trainer for American Ninja Warrior. And she went and wrote a list of stuff I was going to do right away, like right then. And I want to share a real quick story about that experience that I think was really cool. Is leading up to it, everybody always has like a theme to their ninja alter ego maybe, or something they're representing. And my daughter and I were sitting around one time, we were talking about superheroes, and this was when she was younger. And we were talking about different superheroes, Batman, Superman, and she asked me which one was my favorite. And there's kind of a joke in my family. I dress up as Superman every year for Halloween, and I was like, "Oh, you're not going to be Superman again, are you?" So, but he's my favorite. So, and then so I asked her. I said, "Well, who's your favorite?" And we talked about the cape, the outfits they wear, and all the different stuff they have. For Batman, all his toys and things he has, all his weapons. And then she goes, "Well, Dad, it's you. My hero lives in your shirt." And that's what she said. So I used that theme for my American Ninja Warrior, what I competed in. So,
awesome.
And it said, my hero
That's
lives
awesome.
inside this shirt. So,
Yeah.
But to be able to compete on that show was great. It was a great experience. Again, another example of all that training. And I thought I was going to I was like, I'll get to the 5th obstacle or so. And I went down at the very beginning. And so it was a lot. I started crying. I went to the locker room, FaceTime my family, and that's when I knew that's what it was all about, because they were just like, that was awesome, and I was their hero. So
Yeah.
I wake up every day at 4:15 a.m. in the morning, and my message on my phone that I put in there, I would tell everybody to do this. You can put a message on your phone when you wake up, and mine says, be their superhero.
Wonderful. Yeah, that is a role, I think, that got diminished with this assault on men.
Mm-hmm.
Their unique and important role is as a role model in the family and in these past several decades is that whole concept of a family eroded. And I am going to say that was a social policy of the government.
Right. I'm reading a book right now. Here's another fun fact about me. I had never read a book in my life, honestly. I had never read a book, but maybe one my whole life. And then I did this Live Hard program. And one of the things you do in it is you read 10 pages a day. And now I read 10 pages every day, and I have for quite a while. And the book I'm on right now I think it's called The Way of Men. And it's a good book. It really opened my eyes to just that thing that you're talking about right now.
Yeah, and getting back to the schools, I think a lot of the problems that you were trying to address is behavior problems of the students. Well, when you have 50% of your students are on free and reduced lunch, and those are mostly single-head household female,
Yeah.
there's no question that some of that behavior issue is due to the fact of the lack of male role models.
Yeah, it all starts at home, and I mean,
Yep, it
I
does.
saw that running for school board, and you can't blame the schools for everything because quite a bit of it comes from how our culture's changed over the years.
Yeah. So thank you for that. You are a difference maker that way. The other thing I'd like you to talk about is Brace for Impact.
Right. Yeah. So Brace for Impact. That is a non-for-profit organization. It was started by Kyle McClellan. He's a former World Series pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, so a lot of people know who he is. And the organization, it benefits orphanage in Haiti, and it originally started out to benefit 46 kids. So it's called Brace for Impact 46. And what they've done there is they have built they provide food, clean water. They built a children's hospital there, a school, and a church, different things like that, to make everything a good situation for these kids. And now, today, there's over 500 kids that go to that school. So, and there's multiple different things we do throughout the year. As I became a Brace for Impact ambassador, and that was one of the things that I had put on my vision and my goal, my vision board for myself. And it's not an easy thing to obtain to become an ambassador for them. They're very selective, and there's only a few of us. One of the other main guys, his name is S. Stevenson. He is actually one of the orphans from Haiti that was adopted and came here. He just recently wrote a book also about his life, and it's I think it's called Life 360 or something like that. But it's really good, and I mean, to see where he came from to where he is now. His parents died when he was young. He was in an orphanage in Haiti, and so what they're doing there is just fantastic. And when we do some of these events that we do through the ambassador program, we have about 10 a year. We see the ultimate impact right away. So we see the food going there. We see kids with new backpacks. We see kids with new shoes going to school weeks later just from the money that we just raised.
So there's oversight. And that's been a cause of great consternation is people donate money, but it never makes it to the group that the money was donated for.
Yeah, this one's 100%. Yeah. So, and then they also have a project where they help renovate housing and sports programs for kids in North St. Louis. So,
Oh, wow.
So that's
because we have our own mission territory here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So that's been a big one of the things I've been a big part of. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lynn. You're
Well, I was going to say one thing, too, before we get off the Ninja Warrior thing. I watched that. I'm sure you've got the whole video.
Yeah.
You probably still watch it from time to time.
Quite honestly, I've maybe watched it 3 times because when I watch it, it's tough to watch because I fell on an obstacle that I would not fail.
I've watched it because I'm just extremely proud of you. But,
thank you.
So tell the audience that probably the average age of the contestants, are they probably 18, 20 years old?
Yeah, well, they're getting younger. So I trained with a lot of kids at Springfield Warrior Sports, and that were 11 to 14 years old, and they're a little bit older now, but I mean, they're phenomenal athletes, so the average age is probably 18 to 20.
Yeah.
And most Ninja Warrior competitors weigh about 100, 110 pounds, and I'm 200 and something, so I'm outside the box for sure.
But you're well muscled. You don't have any fat on you like me, and so you may have started and kind of ended early, but on the other hand, most people couldn't even get on there. So I mean, you are a winner no matter what, and that's what people need to realize. Just because you lose is not that you're a loser. You're a winner. You're a winner for trying. You're a winner for competing. And then some of the times when I played tennis, and I used to play college kids when I was in my 30s and 40s, and I could still beat most of them until I got to be about 45, and it really upsets those young people when they get beat. But you just have to realize some of the times when I lost a match was the time I learned the most. I learned the most about how not to lose the next time. The mistakes I made at that right time. I just made a mistake at with the shot selection. You just learn. You can learn from your mistakes and your losses. You're not a loser. Everybody's a winner. Okay?
I got something to add to that real quick. My daughter just turned 16, and she went to go do her driver's test, with my wife Morgan, and she failed it the first time. And she's a really good driver, but she called me bawling and crying, and I said, "Okay, Coco, here's what you're going to do. I mean, you just failed, but you know what you did wrong. We're going to go back tomorrow, and you're going to do well." And so, I said, "I want you to enjoy your birthday, all that kind of stuff." And I said, when you fail, it's an opportunity to get better and learn from your mistakes, and then you succeed. Yeah. And so we went back the next day, and she got 92 out of 100. So it was great. So.
My husband was a lifeguard when he was a young man, and he said that after they rescue someone from the water, the first thing they want to do once they're calm again is to get them back in the water.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you don't, you're going to do this head trip where you rehearse your fear rather than say, okay, that was an event, we're done, and get back in there to enjoy it again.
Yeah, and your mind will remember not only the failures, but also you overcoming the failure. And the more you can do that, the more that you have that confidence to not only fail but to also succeed because of the failure.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, let's talk about the event, January the 19th at 6 p.m. At the ATOSS Center. We're going to explain to people where that's at, but why did you decide to do something like that?
Right. So I ran for school board. We talked about that. I kind of changed my own life personally, and for almost 2 or 3 years, I've actually just had this, vision of doing something like this, and I've been able to tie it into Brace for Impact. And it's one of those things when you've got this thing that you're thinking about, you can't sleep at night because of it. And I just wanted to bring community leaders together, in the business, health, and fitness space, and to make a positive impact on our community. And not only the people that are going to come attend the event, but also to have a positive impact for what we're doing it for, what we're raising the money for, to people, to those organizations, and give back in that way too, locally there in Nixa, and also through Brace for Impact, and help those kids in Haiti.
Are
and
these
St. Louis.
Products related to your organization?
Yeah, so with the tickets, we've got 2 different levels, and if you get the VIP tickets, then you've got a meet and greet with the speakers, and then I kind of put out a few things right here. First Form is a big part of my life and really helped me change my life. They're a company out of St. Louis. They're a health and fitness company, but they specialize in changing people's lives, real results for real people. And so they donated quite a bit of health and fitness items that you can see here. And then there's the coffee for Brace for Impact. That's one of their things they use to raise funds for the kids in Haiti. We were featured in Springfield Fit Life magazine, so for the November-December issue, I've got that there. That will be in each packet. You can also pick that up at some of the local stores in Springfield. And then one thing that's not featured here and I haven't talked about is, growing up, I had an alcoholic father. Not a bad father, but he was an alcoholic, and, I just grew up kind of in that situation. Joined a fraternity at Missouri State, continued to drink quite a bit, and then as I became a 40-year-old, middle average or average, lifestyle, I was drinking quite a bit, and then I did the Live Hard program, and I quit drinking, and just recently I quit for over a year and a half. But one item, and now I represent a company called Athletic Brewing Company, and they're getting to be a very big company, and they produce a high quality non-alcoholic beer that also gives back to the trails and outdoor space. And so there will be a 6-pack of their beer along with this. And so the whole package is about $200 worth of items. So it kind of represents my journey, and I get to pass those things on to the people that decide to buy a VIP ticket. So, and not only that, but the extra money you give is extra money towards
this becomes their swag bag.
Right. Yeah. So it's pretty good. So yeah, I was telling Lynn, I went to go pick up most of this at first when I was expecting it to be in boxes, and they had already put it together in these nice black bags, and I had 33 of them, and I was trying to figure out how to get them in my car. So
So how much is that package?
Altogether with everything, the tickets are $100.
Tickets are $100.
Yeah, for the VIP, you'll be in the first 2 rows. You'll have the meet and greet with the speakers, and then these items here. And then our regular tickets are $40. And
Okay, $100, $40, so it's definitely affordable for everyone.
And every dollar of that goes to Brace for Impact or Care to Learn Nixa. Care to Learn Nixa we haven't talked about as much yet, but they provide for health, hunger, and hygiene for the kids that can't afford that in the Nixa area. So that's another impact we're going to have right here locally, and we're splitting the money right down the middle between those 2 organizations. So, and since ATOSS Theater is in Nixa High School, it's a state-of-the-art performing arts theater, but that'll be something that right there locally they can benefit from. So.
Care to Learn, let's just talk about Care to Learn a little bit. In Nixa, it's a very, very important organization, and they do help a lot of young kids. I'm glad you chose them as one of your main companies that you want to donate to and help, because they do help a lot of kids. And that's the founders of that is Doug Pitt and Brad Pitt.
Right.
I think everybody probably knows Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
he's
I'd
from
say so.
Springfield, and he's been an actor for a little while. I actually taught him tennis lessons when he was a senior, going to be a senior at
local boy.
Kickapoo High School, and his dad told me that he needed to work on his confidence. He had never lettered in a sport because he wasn't really the size that his dad said needed to be to play sports. And so we worked with him, and he became a tennis player his senior year and won more than half of his matches. And he's never had a tennis racket in his hand, or I'd be getting a royalty, I think.
That's right.
Anyway, I mean, honestly, they have Care to Learn in Ozark and other places. It's all over the country today, and it's a great organization. So you've picked 2 great, and we have a lot of friends that are missionaries and different people and that go to Haiti and help. That's a country that needs all the help they can get, and you've picked 2 great organizations. And when you're talking about, because I know you're extremely healthy, and both Morgan, you guys lift weights. She competes. She's a competitor too, and so that's just outstanding. Because if you have your health, you actually have everything. It doesn't. I mean, you can be one of the richest people in the world, but if you don't have your health, you don't really have anything.
Yeah, it's made a big difference in my life, and just some of these programs I've gone through, the Live Hard program that I've talked about before, and then being a part of First Form and Spartan Ambassador has been a huge thing for me. And so these speakers I brought together for the Guidance Expedition, that's the title of the speaking event at the ATOSS Theater. Each one of them have the tools, and they've all done and lived a healthy lifestyle, as well as been successful in business and leadership, and they are just worth their weight in gold in what you're going to learn by coming to listen to them speak. And I talked about having this dream, but I also had this dream about who was going to be in it, and I kept thinking about, and it's a very diverse kind of group. So you're going to, there's younger, older, there's intrapreneurs, there's entrepreneurs, head football coach, and faith-based, non-faith-based, and then stories of people that have come from nothing to rise to being really successful now. And so I'd like to talk about each one of them a little bit
Yeah, let's just
individually.
individually.
So, yeah, that way
we've
kinda
got a few
people-
minutes left.
people
Let's just
expect, so.
quickly kind of give a description because this is very important.
Yeah, so Jeremy Meyer is going to lead the night off. I'm going to host in between each speaker, and he was a big part of my life as far as just from a spiritual part and from a gym part. I wanted to learn CrossFit. He owns Proximal Strength here in Springfield, Missouri. Longtime host of the HOA CrossFit competition, which was one of the biggest CrossFit competitions in the United States. And when you walk into his gym, on the wall it says "Learn to Never Quit." And there's just an aura about his gym. He empowers people to take control of their lives, and he's a phenomenal speaker. So right from the beginning, I would hate to, I am going to speak after him, but I hate to be the speaker that's fully going after him because he's a really good speaker. So, and then we've got Will Grumpke, which he started Supplement Superstore as a supplement company that started here in Springfield, Missouri, and then First Form grew out of that. But he started as a kid working at Supplement Superstore and worked as an entrepreneur, and then now he's one of the top level executives at First Form, which is a national worldwide company, and his story is just phenomenal, what he does with athletics, Boston Marathon, and then a competitor, and then recently he's the top 5 or 10 in the world in High Rocks, which is new. And then we've got Frank Tristan, so he's the head football coach of the local high school football team, Glendale, where my kids play. And the thing I love about him is it's just not about the sports. It's also about making these men ready for life, and he does it really well through a faith-based system and teaching them how to work as a team and teaching them how to build and build confidence in life. Then we got Julius Walker, who's local here to Springfield too, went to Greenwood and Drury, played basketball there, and then recently this year got signed for the UFC, which, we all know what that is. So kind of similar to me making an American Ninja Warrior, but I mean, his story's great. He's an awesome person. And then Silas Shores, and I'm not going to tell his story because you got to come listen to it, but his story is worth its weight in gold. I mean, he came from a pretty tough story, and now he owns 5 gyms, and they're state-of-the-art gyms. 4 of them are here locally. One's in Nixa, 3 in Springfield, and then 1 in St. Louis. So
he's a Missouri person.
Yeah, and it's an awesome story, and I can't tell it because you got to come listen to it.
Yeah, no,
And then,
that's
so-
awesome.
Where did it
Yeah.
start? Where did his story start?
Well,
Is he
so
from?
it started when he was younger, and his parents' situation and drugs involved and different things like that, homeless, and I'll just leave it at that because
Okay.
I want him to tell
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's one that I don't know that he shares with a lot of people, but it's going to be shared that day, and it's a very impactful story because people are capable of so much in their life, and a lot of people just don't even understand it.
Well,
And,
I have it's my brother's stepdaughter is married to Dave Verboda, who used to play for the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah.
He got injured, and the medication, the painkiller medication, became addictive for him, and he had to go through a process similar to what you're describing about alcohol. But what he discovered was his real calling in life was to become the trainer for injured veterans who became amputees or some brain injury that incapacitated them. And that it was the slow progress of learning they weren't disabled, they just had to do life differently.
Right.
And they learned that through the physical challenges in his gym.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, Lynn knows a little bit about that. We talked about that just recently, and I mean, I just had a retina detachment surgery, so I'm getting to see what it's like not to be able to see through an eye for about 4 to 6 weeks.
And
so
then it will heal up.
temporary. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's great. I mean, it's
But it all ties into
Yeah.
what you're talking
Yeah.
about taking discipline over yourself.
Right.
And realizing you can apply that power of discipline
Yeah.
to other aspects of your life. You don't have to be a victim.
Absolutely, and there's too much
Right?
of that mentality right now.
Exactly.
And everybody has the same 24 hours, and it's really just how you're going to attempt what you're going to do in those 24 hours, and just work on today. If you can win one day at a time, then you can win a week, win a month, and win a year, win 10 years, and that's how you succeed. And when I did the Live Hard program, I've changed my habits, and I get up at 4:15 every day. I get up, I drink water, I go outside, and I do an outdoor workout, even if it's just walking. And then I read 10 pages. I do gratitude in another journal. I visualize in another journal. And then I drink a little bit of coffee, and it's just a good way to start your day. And those are some of those takeaways that people that come to this event, the Guidance Expedition, are going to learn of what you can actually do. And we're going to provide some value to people, what they can actually leave that event and go apply to their life that day and start making a difference. Because I can, no different from school board, and it's no difference from what I'm trying to do, and it's changing culture, because ultimately politics are downstream from culture.
But you start with yourself.
And you start with yourself, and then you watch, and then everybody sees what you're doing. You lead by example, and that's how you change. That's how you change your community. That's how you change the United States of America, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
What you're doing is outstanding. I tell you what, so what I'm getting out of just these last few comments, not everybody's going to be like you, Chad, okay? I understand that. And they're not going to be waking up at 4:15 in the morning. And
if you get up at 4:15, when do you go to sleep?
Usually by about 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, so huge change in my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But you've got a perfect lifestyle for you, but and for other people. But what I want people to realize is that by going to a seminar like what you're doing, you're going to help your personal and family life. So your own personal life is going to be better every day.
And you'll be easier to live with.
I don't know about that.
So that's one thing. You're going to help yourself physically, no matter whether you do all the things you do or part of the things that these guys are going to be talking about. Spiritual, you're going to increase spiritual awareness. Family life, you're going to help your family life, your business life, your work life. I mean, these are all things, positive things that you can do.
Well, what I meant by that was, if you come to a place where you understand you have to take responsibility for your problems, you stop blaming others.
Yeah, right.
And you become less contentious, pointing the finger, and you start just taking a grip on yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think if everybody does that.
Yeah. Another book I read is Extreme Ownership by Jocko, and man, it was fantastic, and it's military based book, but it talks about that, and it talks about from my standpoint of working at the pharmacy, ultimately whoever's in charge, regardless of what the people that are under you are doing, you're ultimately responsible for what they've done also. So sometimes it's not even just your own personal responsibility, but your responsibility for others as well.
For oversight.
Right.
You do have to check in.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, we're going to run out of time, but I'm going to do 2 sponsors real quick, and then be thinking last words. You got last words. We definitely need to make sure we put some email addresses, phone numbers, however we want people to contact you. But our first sponsor is Brad Pistow. He is a certified fiduciary financial planner located in Ozark, Missouri. He's been my sponsor since my radio talk show for 7.5 years, and also almost 5 years now with our show Changing Times. He is not only one of the best in the state of Missouri, he's recognized all over the country. One of my best friends today had an appointment with him at 10 o'clock to see him. He's in his 50s, and it's never too early to start thinking about retirement planning. You can call 417-581-9222, 417-581-9122. And I'm telling you, you will get a book. They'll send you a book. They'll send you information. He's written 2 best-selling books on retirement planning. The first one was Safe Money Matters, and the second one is called Bulletproof. Both of them are award-winning books. He contributes to Wall Street Journal. He contributes to the business financial section of USA Today and many other magazines, newspapers, and he travels all over the country. He's licensed in 23 states. That's not 50, but he knows associates in the other states, so he can highly recommend someone just like him that can help you. And he has not only figured out how to prepare my retirement planning for Janet and I, he also has made us a lot of money. So we're making money still at our age, and we're also very secure, and we definitely know that we are going to not run out of money before we run out of our life. And that's what people worry about today with inflation and everything that's going on, is they're afraid, well, I have enough money to sustain myself my entire lifetime. And we know as we get older, we start spending money on things that we don't want to, like health care and things like that. Those are our worst last choice that we'd want to spend money on. We want to spend money on something fun. Well, it's not fun being sick. So honestly, Brad Pistow is the guy to go to. The next sponsor is used to be Youngblood Motor Group. They also were a sponsor on a radio program, but now it's called Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. John Youngblood retired. Now we have John Whittaker. He was there before. My last 3 cars have been bought from these guys. I just bought a Nissan. No, I bought a Kia. I'm sorry. I bought a Kia SUV on Labor Day. The last 2 cars before that was Grand Cherokee Jeeps, when they sold Jeeps. Honestly, these guys, 44 years in business in Southwest Missouri, one of the longest family-owned businesses. There's a reason for it. They sell cars not just in Southwest Missouri. They have people from 8 states coming to buy cars from them. Their reputation is well known. They have tremendous service, great pricing on cars and things like this, and you won't go wrong. Their phone number is 882-38, let's see, I almost forget that number, 417-882-3838, 417-882-3838, and Susan will answer the phone, and she's absolutely will get you to the right person. Best personality I've ever heard is on the phone. She's worth a lot of money, and I tell them that all the time. So let them know that Dr. Mary and Lynn Morris sent you there. We've got other people getting ready to buy a car from them right now, people that know us, and we really appreciate that. Very quickly, and then we got to get Chad. Next week, we got a little bit of a Christmas show that we're going to do, and we also have a special guest that we're working on. She should be home from school. She's an OU student, University of Oklahoma, and she got a 0 on a paper that was on gender identity, a 0 out of 25, and it's made national news. And we're going to talk to her and probably her mom, who's an attorney, next week. And then I want people to know, Dr. Mary and I had a great show on education last week. However, that really was just the warm-up. We talked about so many topics, but it was a warm-up. So for folks who have sent me messages, we're going to deal with autism and education, special needs and education. We're going to talk about a lot, and we'll have some experts on with us, and we're going to talk about some more important things about education as we change the federal government and trying to channel it back down to local control more and having money down here instead of a bunch of bureaucrats somewhere else. So we'll probably have to spend, with Dr. Mary being an expert on education, we'll probably have to spend at least a couple more times to really get the information out to you that we want to know. So anyway, great shows lined up. And last words, Chad, thank you for being here today.
I really appreciate you having me on, Lynn and Mary. It's good to see you and talk with you this morning. And for those out there that want to go to the guidance expedition, I got to tell you how to buy tickets. So, but anyway, the ATOSS Center website, it's atosscenter.net. So it's AETOSCENTER.net. You can go on there, purchase tickets. If anybody out there, we were featured on KY3, Springfield Fit Life magazine. If anybody wants to be a sponsor, they could reach out to me or ATOSS. They can get a hold of me. Probably social media is the best way. Instagram, it's chad.rollins.9. And the reason for the 9 is the 9 members of my family. That's my purpose. That's my why. And then, or Chad Rollins on Facebook. I do have 2 accounts on there. I've
Spell
got my
Rollins for them.
yeah, it's Rollins, Rollins, Chad, Chad. And I do have 2 accounts. One is for the Guidance Expedition, but the best way to get a hold of me on Facebook is just my personal account that's just Chad Rollins. So that's the 2 ways to get a hold of me personally. That would be the best, or you can reach out to this show, and they'll have my contact information. And I look forward to seeing you January 19th, 2026.
January 19th, and we'll try to, Dennis, we'll try to get it on where it's on through Acts Ministry too, where we're promoting this event coming up.
Great way
And
to
so-
start the new year.
Yeah, it's so if you need a Christmas present for somebody, or you're wanting to change your life in January, that's kind of the timing of this event was that on purpose. There will be no school that day. It's on a Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, and it's from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yeah, that sounds good, and it doesn't matter whether you're the level that Chad, because he's way up there, and I'm way down here. But anybody could gain.
Yeah,
from this.
let me just say, I'll address that real quick. I am honestly just an average person, or average father, and that people are capable of a lot of things if they just really, put in the work and are dedicated. But I would say I'm average in my book. So.
Well, you're an awesome average person, and you're a difference maker. So we appreciate you so much, and we'll be back next week. And hey, it's getting close to Christmas.
Better be good.